once we started to get together, just things just got out of hand.
Okay, so we left off like Joe. I had invited Joe to my wedding. So the day of the wedding, we had the wedding. Afterwards, Joe and I kind of spent some time talking with each other, just kind of catching up. I went back home that night, went to sleep, woke up the next day. Everything was completely normal, fine. And normal for me in my relationship at that time wasn't that grandy mandy or whatever that word is.
Healthy?
Yeah, sure. So, I don't know if I mentioned it the last time, but basically we were having some problems, and me and my ex were having some problems. We kind of like broke up for a little bit, and then we decided to get back together and fix those problems through getting married. And so the moment we got married, days afterwards, weeks afterwards, whatever, obviously all of those problems just came right back on all those issues. But eventually, one day, me and my ex-husband at the time were, well, he was my ex-husband at the time. Me and my ex went to he did mixed martial arts, so we went to one of his mixed martial arts fights, and afterwards there was like a club portion of it, or I don't know if it was a club, I don't know what it was, but there was a club.
It was like an after party.
It was an after party? Oh, okay. So anyway, I was walking into this club area, and I can't remember if I don't remember, I think I saw Joe from behind or something like that. And I was like, Joe? We just like randomly bumped into each other at a club again.
Yeah, it was at a very obscure club that me and my friend Ricky, we just happened to go to just out of the blue. He heard it from his uncle, and it was weird, right? His uncle, but his uncle was really cool. We went out and from his recommendation, and then we happened to run into Alena and her husband at the time. Yeah.
And Joe and my husband, they know each other and stuff, and Ricky, because we all used to kind of hang out together too. What happened? So it was just like, it was literally, sorry guys. It was literally the same exact thing that happened when we were at that other club in DC. It's like, Joe? It's like, Alena? Like, that's really weird. Like, we went in the club.
Well, yeah, we were both coming into the club, like, which is even more random. Yeah. We happened to come in at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, we went in the club. Just nothing. I don't know. I hung around Joe for a little bit.
Yeah, Alena was really, she wasn't really going to clubs and stuff at the time. Me and Ricky, we were going full 75%.
What? Is that what you guys are doing?
Yeah, we were only going like twice a week.
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird. I wasn't going to like any clubs. I hadn't been to clubs like once a year or for someone's birthday party or something.
Yeah, so she was out of the loop. So she was very, kind of just like clingy on to people when it came to like going to clubs and stuff.
I don't feel like I was clinging on anyone. I was just standing and walking around, not doing anything.
Yeah, you were standing and walking around and following me around and Ricky
that's
and stuff.
Cleaning. It wasn't like I couldn't.
That's what you call cleaning.
No, it's not like I couldn't have just gone and sat down.
Anyways, yeah. So after that night, we kind of reconnected and we started to just like hang out a little bit more often.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I was like really frustrated in my own relationship with like just the millions of things that were going on. And so since you were partying, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go party too.
So there's this club, it's called Cancun. And we would go there. And we would more frequently go there because I guess Alena wanted to get away. She just wanted to sidestep from her issues. And how was that?
Huh?
How was that, like, the reason for you kind of like just going out and stuff?
I mean, I just wanted to go out because I was just irritated. I didn't want to be near. I didn't want to be in a situation I was in 24/7. So just like getting that one day or whatever, how many days, whatever, just to go hang out is like good therapeutic, I guess. Just to like almost like just when you're just exercising or something, just to relieve stress or something like that.
So after the clubs and things like that, we would usually sit out in the car and well, she would vent out a lot of her issues and a lot of her problems to me. And some of the more relationship type of issues, I kind of experienced in like a previous relationship before that. I mean, I experienced it in a previous relationship, like sometime before her issues and stuff. And so we kind of like touched base on that and kind of, just shared some perspective on that.
Yeah, like,
and just how annoying it was. So
yeah.
we kind of connected on just some similar problems, I guess.
Yeah, like your ex-girlfriend and my ex-boyfriend. I don't even like to call my husband because we weren't even married for a year.
Your
It's
ex,
irritating. My ex. But are very similar to each other, right? Had similar qualities in each other. Some similar qualities in each other. Like the one about not wanting to get up and do anything, like being happy, like kind of like just where you are with your steady, whatever it may be, not having aspirations, not having a true passion for something and going after it. And that's always frustrating in a partner because I don't know, that's just, to me, it's just completely frustrating. Yeah, what were the other things like
I think that was probably the main thing.
Yeah, that was like the main
because
thing.
like on a day-to-day level, on a relationship level, you want to know where the relationship can go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like the life goals and stuff like that, like I want this for my life. It's not even that. It's just like in a relationship, like where are we taking this?
Yeah.
Like, are we serious or are we just kind of just doing whatever happens? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be dating someone for years and then it's just like it's like the same thing as like when you first dated for the first month,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and just growth in a relationship too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know exactly the words to express what growth in a relationship is, besides more understanding. So yeah, I was just sharing a lot of my frustrations, both of us in my relationship, just talking about how we feel like things should be, kind of like just how we were talking right now. Yeah. What?
Go ahead.
That's all I have to say. I mean, like, and then, like, I kind of had a crush on you or something.
So what she told me was that just sharing our frustrations and us just kind of sharing our issues and problems.
Yeah.
It started to become, it started to feel good.
What?
It started to become comforting, consoling and things like that. Consoling her became, comforting for both of us.
Okay, yeah, I think that's true. But a step before that is that the more and more I talk to you, the more and more I realize like it's the things that I'm going through in my relationship are not normal. And for so long I had a thought of like, okay, well, maybe this is normal, well, maybe that is normal. The more I talked to you and heard your viewpoint on just certain things about relationships, I was like, okay, there's other people who believe relationships to be like this. This is not necessarily a normal thing if you're with someone for 8 or 9 years and you're not married. Or so sharing frustrations, realizing that the things and issues that I was having a problem with are not necessarily a normal thing. And then, like you were saying, I do believe like the consoling became comforting. Specifically, the one night when we were talking in the car, and then just about so many different things. And then we went into my mom's house, and we were just talking and talking and talking. And then I don't want to say this. I can't talk about this.
We were talking for a very long time in the car, and then we were just sitting outside her mom's house. And so we were both tired, so she invited me in. I guess everyone else was sleeping. And we sat on the couch, talked some more, and then she fell asleep on me. Or I think I laid down, and then she fell asleep on me.
Yeah. I don't like talking about this. But
no, you know what? No, that's not what actually happened.
What?
I laid down, and then you laid next to me.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Or on top of me.
Not on top of you, next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started rubbing her head like this, or something like this. And then she just kind of sank into my arms.
Yeah, and then that's when the next morning I woke up, I was like, this is not a good thing. That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, I came to a realization like that next morning, like...
What's not a good thing?
I mean, that is not a good thing. I was like, okay...
This wasn't a good thing, or your situation wasn't a good thing?
This wasn't a good thing.
Oh.
Like, that we were getting... it just came to, like, a theory. It's like, oh, like, I was thinking in my head, like, oh, I could like this person. Like, that's how far I went. Like, oh, like, crush, I could like this person. You know, when I have a crush on somebody, it doesn't really mean anything, you know? It's just like having a crush on a celebrity type of thing. So.
And then you're going to show me how you were kissing me in the spot.
No, you can show me how you were kissing me.
Okay, I was kissing you when you were sitting on me.
The bad thing about this is that in general, what happened was that I guess I cheated on my husband, and that's why I don't like talking about it, because I'm smiling about it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that. Huh? Yeah, but that's bad. That's like sinful. Like, no matter how you put it, it's sinful.
Okay,
you know?
So let's get back to what we were saying. So, so we were talking to each other, and she was saying how, talking to each other started to feel good, not just comforting. And so at the time, I still felt harmless. I was thinking, oh, like Alena, like, friend from high school. I wasn't really thinking of like anything could actually happen.
Yeah.
So like I never been in like a position of being like a homewrecker type of person, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what you say, but you didn't wreck my home or anything.
I know, but like just being that outside person in a relationship that's like a married thing. Because when I'm thinking of like marriage, I'm thinking, okay, like they're untouchable. You could barely even hang out with them alone, type of thing. And I guess like my idea of marriage at that time, like with people and friends, were just like, they're a joint thing, they're one unit. So, it doesn't matter what I say, what I do, what she says and does, like, it's just, I can't break anything up. Like, it's not going to be a problem.
And so what happened? So I had a crush on you, and did I tell you I had a crush on you?
You told me you had a crush on me when one night we went out and you got on top of me.
Okay, stop. That was probably way into it afterwards. So, but okay. So basically, Yeah. So stop laughing.
What's wrong with
it.
your eye?
Nothing. Stop laughing at it because it's not funny. I mean, the thing about it is that we got in a. I never thought that I could ever like this person, like actually like develop emotional feelings for a person, not just lustful feelings, I guess. And then how did you felt similar, right? So like I don't know, like we didn't all this whole time we never kissed or anything like that, you know. It was more of like an emotional type of thing,
this time period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then still never kissed. I don't think we never even kissed. And then one time, because we were spending so much time with each other, I believe at one point my ex told me not to talk to you for a week. That's what happened. So we stopped talking to each other for like a week. I was so sad. I was like literally bawling, crying one day. I was like, no, Joseph, I miss him.
I guess that's also a change from being out all the time and then being at the place where you're trying to get away from all the time.
Yeah. So, yeah. He kind of like forbade me to talk to you for a week. But we actually kind of decided, like, yeah, let's stop talking to each other because we talk to each other way too much. And so we did that. It was sad. That was the longest week of my life. And at that point, over that point in time, I told my husband, I was like, okay, I told him, like, I like this person, you know, because I didn't want to be, like, lying to him, you know. But at the same time, I'm saying this, at that point in time, even though he was my husband, we didn't have a husband and wife relationship. We still had a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. So for me, it was kind of easy to be like, oh yeah, I like this person. You know, it didn't mean anything to me. And even at that point, marriage didn't really mean anything to me, mainly because of the marriage I was in, you know? And I remember me and you were talking about marriage and what we thought it should be. Like we were just having conversations on marriage and just kind of talking what we thought it should be. And I was like, man, I should have had this conversation before I got married. Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so being away from each other, even though it was just a week.
Did you miss me?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, so being away from each other for a week.
Sounds so stupid.
It was it was just a shift from just hanging out with someone and then just basically cutting them off for a week. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like when you have a best friend in elementary school and then you don't see him for a week, you know. In school you see them all the time. School is life when you're in elementary school.
Yeah.
And so it kind of felt like that, you know, in recess, like who do you talk to, who do you turn to in class? It's like habitual, you know.
Yeah.
But after that break, I guess, we started to connect deeper, I guess. We it wasn't just comfort, it was also like excitement after that. We were excited to see each other. We were comforted by seeing each other, and we would still be venting and stuff like that. But now there were like more characteristics in our friendship that started to build and build. Yeah.
Like for me, like once I started feeling that, like just because of the type of person I am, I don't keep my feelings, but you know, I don't keep any feelings bottled up. So I just act on everything. Like that's my bad part about like me. Is that like if I have a feeling, I go for that feeling, I go into it, and I won't stop, and I can't stop, type of thing. And that's like my vice, you know. So if I'm like, but it's like a good and a bad thing, because it shows like my passion. So if I'm really passionate about children and learning this, or getting Black children to come out of like a learning disparity, I'm really, really passionate, I go into that feeling. But if it's like something like, oh, I'm like with my husband and I'm really not feeling him, and I like someone else, I'm gonna really, really go with that. And for me, like, I would have never thought, like, in forever, like, there's no way impossible that anyone could make me, that I could like anyone else than this guy, you know. Like, there's just no way. And I think, like, for me, I realized that that's a scary thing to tell yourself, because then when you get in that situation, like, I didn't prevent myself, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, there's no way I'm gonna like Joe, you know, like, hell no, you know. So there was no prevention in how much I would talk to you or how deep our conversations would get, you know.
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is you were completely unguarded because you weren't thinking that it would ever happen.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, so with me, my feelings are like, yeah, I like you, I do this, I do that, you know, hey, Joe, this is something, you know. So for me, I'm probably like super, like, more, not very open about how I felt about you, right? And like, you were like,
well, also for me, I didn't think that I would be in this type of position, and like, because I didn't think that I would ever be like that third person, or the person who can even be that person. I guess I felt a little bit too self-righteous of myself, and you know, I wouldn't be that thing. So we both came from places where, you know, like, we were untouchable, and then once we started to get together, just things just got out of hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And so, like, so Joe kind of acted like the whole time he didn't like me, basically, even though I knew he did. So what?
Go ahead.
I mean, that's how you acted. I mean, you didn't completely act like you didn't like me, but he wouldn't, obviously he's not gonna like tell someone who's married, like, hey, like, this about you or anything about you, know. But if I like start to kiss him,
why are you thrusting your hips?
Stop. Obviously he was like all into it. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that because that was simple, it was bad. But one night, me and Joe came in really, really late. My husband was really annoyed that we were spending this time with each other. Obviously my husband didn't know at the time, like, we had been kissing each other. I don't think he didn't know that, because I told him. He didn't know that. But at the same time, like, for months before this, like, my husband was like, my ex was completely ignoring me. Like, it's like, anytime that I wanted to do something with him, anytime that I wanted to do anything, like, let's do this, let's do that, let's spend time together at the house, he would ignore me. Then all of a sudden I started hanging out with you, and it's all like, he's all in my face. Before, it didn't matter what I did, where I was at, he didn't even say a word to me, you know. Not like completely ignoring me, but basically like pushing me to the side and like not caring about our relationship at all. And as soon as we started hanging out, all of a sudden he's like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Come here and do this. Da, da, da. I'm like, bro, where have you been for like the last 4 months? Like, you know what I mean? But eventually one night, Joe and I came back from the house, and whatever it was, Joe and I were like probably kissing that night. Whatever happened, I didn't say anything to my husband when I came in, but he was just like looking at me with the most I don't even want to talk about this because it's kind of sensitive, but he was mad. I mean, he was like mad. And that day is when our relationship ended. Things happened that day, and I was like gone the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Things happened between me and him, and then I was gone the next day. Completely gone. Yeah, I was gone. Just things happened. Police needed to be called, and then that was the end of us. I moved all of my stuff out. We were moving anyway. We were already, like, me and him were already moving to separate places. We weren't breaking up, but we were already moving to separate places to kind of take a break from each other. But then after that night, we were just completely whatever. I had called Joe after this event happened, and I was just crying on the phone to him, telling him what happened. I don't know, what were you thinking at the time?
I mean, I was concerned because your life was in danger. Don't you want to re-record this when we're sitting and I could say, Alena, this is the first place where we kissed?
No.
Why?
Because it's too personal. I don't want to say that.
Why?
Because it's too embarrassing, Joseph.
No, it's not embarrassing.
Yes, it is embarrassing for me.
Why?